Shalom, shalom, shalom. Soldier E. Hood, Benaniyah, Sharala. Coming to you with another Fervent Friday. All praises to the Most High for another Fervent Friday, because without the Lord, I am nothing. All right? Give people opportunity to come on in. Give the Most High all the praise, all the glory. We just give people opportunity. Come on in. Shalom, shalom, young Philly. Man, good to see you. Man, I pray everybody had a blessed week, keeping the law, statute, and commandments. Man, the Most High has been good. He's been great, giving us another full week of life, giving us the endurance to make it through this current captivity. Shalom, Yapa, Adiba, my beautiful rib, all right? Shalom, salute, Officer Yakov, right? Been good, man. Been good, man. I pray everybody been keeping those light in my face. Nah, it's the light from the ceiling fan. Yeah, no light in front of me. Light in me, all praises. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, shalom. Good to see you out, Lamar. Good to see you, bro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just giving people the opportunity to come on in. Please hit that like, that share, that subscribe. Help spread the word of the Most High. Shalom, shalom. Aquafdash, it's good to see you, sis. See, before you start class, just started reading the Bible. John says at the beginning, the word. No, it doesn't. That just shows that Christ was with the Lord in the beginning. That's what it shows. Because again, at the end of the day, like you see the names that's given to Christ. One of them that they would actually utilize is Prince of Power, right? Now, of course, you done heard them call Christ King of Kings, Lord of Lords, things of that nature. But the Most High has more dominant names to show the difference and the status level, right? Because you know how you'll start out with status for like a shopping club, right? You have your basic, you might move up to gold, then you might move up to platinum, then you might move up to elite. They use certain language, right? With the Most High, you have the Most High. Christ does not have any type of moniker, nowhere near that. The Most High, that means it gets no higher than that, right? As well as the Ancient of Days. You'll never hear them refer to Christ as the Ancient of Days because Christ had a beginning, right? The Most High has no beginning. He has just always existed. That's the reason why when you break down the Paleo-Hebrew of Yahweh, right? Yahweh, right? You will get He is. That's it. He has no origin story or anything of that nature. He has just always existed as the Most High. No one has been any higher on the same level. Now, the prestige that Yahweh Shai carries, good to see you, brother Jose. Shalom, salute, Captain Yar. You know what I'm saying? Good to see y'all. The actual moniker that Christ handles is pretty much he's the right hand of the Most High, right? So he is the dominant force when it comes to doing a lot of things. Yes, the Most High can think it and it's done, right? But the Most High sends his son to do a lot of the things that his status is above. The Most High is not getting off his throne to actually do things. That's just who he is in regards to it. He is the ultimate alpha, right? So it's good to see y'all. It's good to see y'all. I hope that answers your question, sister, in regards to it, because we get a lot of people believing that Christ and the Most High was the same individual, they're not. They're on one accord. They're on the same mind state, right? So if you have a child and you raise your child up in a certain heritage or household, things of that nature, there's certain things that you've been telling your child, oh, no problem, sis. Things you've been telling your child since they've been a little one up until they're grown. Those things will put you on one accord. Hey, when you come in my house, hey, my mom don't want nobody with shoes on. Hey, don't sit down on the table without a coaster. Hey, don't do this, don't do that. You're implementing those rules out when someone comes into the household. Your mother or father don't have to say it because they've already taught you the actual rules of engagement when entering into your dwelling place, right? So this week's class is fully automatic death sentence, right? Fully automatic death sentence, right? That's the name of this class because we can't get it confused in regards to the Most High, right? We can't play with the Most High like he just won't eliminate you like that. It's nothing, because we have to understand the Most High can create 10,000 of just you if he wanted to, if that was his will to do so, right? He doesn't need us to implement his will. We're getting the opportunity to actually walk in his laws. We get that second or third or how many chances the Most High has given us, because there's no end to the people. He's giving you the opportunity to get it right, right? That's what grace is, the opportunity to get it right. It doesn't mean that you can just do whatever you want. You see what I'm saying? If your light company gives you the grace to pay your bill, not on the 15th, but on the 27th, you can't come on the 27th and give them $5 when your bill is $105. You can't do that. This is what Christianity teaches grace is. Oh, you don't have to keep the laws or anything of that nature. But when you ask them certain things, is it okay to murder somebody? Is it okay to kill? Oh, well, no, you can't do that. But I thought the laws were done away with, right? So we have to be very aware. We have to utilize and pray for discernment, wisdom, knowledge, and discernment each and every opportunity we go before the Lord in prayer. The reason why we have to is because Christ already warned that with the deception that's coming, even the elect could utilize that falling under deception. God, Christianity does not work, right? Especially modernized stuff, because they'll teach you don't have to do what God says do. You can do what you want, right? That's supreme ignorance, to believe that you think God is so much of a pushover, right? That you could just try the Most High like he's nothing, right? Now, y'all could probably try that with Caesar Borgia, and he'll be like, it's okay. Here's a lollipop. Come give me a hug, my child, right? He'll play that, not Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shah say coming back with a sword, and that I've never seen a picture of Caesar Borgia with a sword. I've seen a picture of him with all these animals around him and children sitting on his lap and all of that good stuff, and everybody looking happy and things of that nature. When Yahweh Shah comes back, he's coming back like 10 times worse than what a Navy SEAL or any type of combat specialist can come back as. And if we're not in the coordinates of what his Father and him is in regards to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, you might as well say you got an automatic death sentence, because the angels ain't going to listen to anything. They're marking and writing and keeping record of everything that we're doing right now. So if hear me well, if this is the first time you're ever hearing about how the Most High is, he's not someone to play with. Neither is his son. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first precept we're going into in this class, the name of the class again is fully automatic death sentence, right? We're going into Ecclesiastes, right? Not Sirach, but Ecclesiastes, and we're going into chapter 7, verse 17, right? Because we got to use discernment. We got to have understanding when it comes to things. Shalom, Princess Kale, right? In the house of Officer Berechiah. Good to see y'all this morning. Shalom, Brother Moses, Brother Jose. As y'all come in, please hit that like, share, subscribe. Let's please share the word of the Most High to the four corners of the earth, where our brothers and sisters may have never heard this message. Let's go ahead and get the elect marked if we can do so, because we definitely want to try to, get out of here, man. I know a lot of people are tired of this affliction, of this captivity. We want Christ to return, so we need to be on one accord. So when he does return, we could be a part of the faithful elect, man, part of that 1/3. All right, so let's go ahead and get this first precept. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 17. Be not overmuch wicked, right? Neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before that time, right? Even though the Most High knows when you're going to die, right? He knew the day that you were going to be brought back and put into a body, right? He knew that, right? All right, not sure what just happened. My bad. Somebody called my phone. Salakia, right? So let's go back. Ecclesiastes 7 and 17, right? It shows again, it says, be not overmuch wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time, right? Because we have to make sure that you don't die before your time. You're here now. You're getting the opportunity now. Throw out Aqua Abdasha, right? I was getting a phone call. Yeah, Pa, open both of them. So we have to make sure that we're not being overmuch wicked. It's easy to be overmuch wicked. That's the crazy part. It's very, very easy to be overmuch wicked. And the reason why we know this, look at how the Pharisees acted. They were around here all over people, right? Mocking, scoffing Christ. But the thing is they weren't keeping those same principles. They understood them. They knew what the law was, but they wasn't keeping the law, right? You don't want to be overmuch wicked. Everything you're doing is wicked, right? Because you can't tell the Lord when the angels arrive, hey, it was a mistake, right? You can't tell him that. We got to be very, very mindful of this situation, right? You have to be very, very mindful. Because if we're not mindful, then guess what happens, right? Then we put ourselves in a situation where you can't come back from that, right? But again, it says, be not overmuch wicked, neither be thou foolish. You don't want to be foolish, right? If you think that the Most High will not eliminate you like it's nothing, right? If you don't think that the Most High will bring judgment upon you, allow a wicked spirit to overcome you, embarrass you in front of your nation, and then eliminate you in the most vile and cruel way, right? You're sadly mistaken. We do not serve a weak God. We do not serve, somebody that's going to just be like, yep, just keep messing up. I'm going to let you in anyway. That's an insult to the Most High. That's an insult to the Ancients of Days, right? Because by doing that, then we put ourselves in a position where we can fail, right? We put ourselves in that position to where we can fail. And when we fail and get into the kingdom, that's the most important thing on the to-do list for an Israelite. Keep these commandments, stay obedient to the Lord, endure unto the end, and pray that you're worthy to get into the kingdom. That's the most important things that you can actually do. Raise your children to be upstanding Israelites, not upstanding citizens, upstanding Israelites, right? If you are so-called indigenous Latino, right? A Native American or a so-called Negro, right? If you are any of those three, then this is a responsibility that you have and our ancestors have had and kept, right? Because without doing so, it turns into a problem, right? It turns into a problem because, again, the scripture is very, very Plain and simple. This is why I started out with this. We can't stop death. You can take 1,000 pills. You can see 1,000,000 specialists. You can go to the doctor every month get your blood work done, everything. You can do all of that. These things that are put on us, oh, you got cancer. Oh, you got diabetes. Oh, you got this, you got that. All of these are judgments, right? All of these things are judgments. So we have to be very, very careful, because guess what? The Most High understands, and he loves us. He didn't create us to be destroyed. So if they're saying you got this now, and when you go back to the doctor, oh, I can't find it. Wonder why they can't find it? Because the Most High lifted that spirit off of you. That's the reason why you can't find it. They could say, hey, you're terminal. You got 3 weeks to live. The Most High may say no. Just like he did Hezekiah. We give him another 15 years. He's going to get it right. I need him to do something important for me, right? We got to really look at these scenarios, right? Got to be very mindful. Why should I die before thy time? The Most High promised us, 70 years on the planet, right? A lot of people dying. You're seeing these kids dying 16, 20, 25, especially celebrities and rappers dying in their 50s, 50, 55. They're not making it because guess what? They're being overmuch wicked. They're not serving the Lord because there's no gray. And this dude tried to say last week, there's a gray area. There is no gray when it comes to the Most High. Lukewarm will be spit out. Either you're keeping the commandments or you're a complete sinner. That's it. There is no way to ride the wall. There is no playing both sides. That doesn't work, right? It does not work, right? We have to make sure that we're not getting taken out of here before our time. I can't stress that enough. I'm going to go over to Ecclesiastes 8 and 8, jump over one chapter to elaborate a little bit more. Because if you think that you can save your life from the Most High's hands I like to go for a walk, help get a little bit of extra weight off that I put on since moving out here. They call it happy weight. But not at the end of the day, you want to be in a better physical condition, because as men, we're the protectors, right? You don't want to get into a situation protecting your family and you only go in 30 seconds, even though the Most High can give you 5 minutes. Have you out there fighting like the best combat fighter there is, all right? But at the same time, you don't want to just sit around to the point where you can't do anything, right? Like things, you don't want to be over obsessed with trying to make your body look a certain way so you can be worshipped by men and women. No. The Most High didn't give us exercise to be worshipped as an idol. Let's cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Let's go here to Ecclesiastes 8 and 8. There is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither have he power in the day of death. And there is no discharge in that war, neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given unto it. Right? Right? So we really have to make sure that what we're doing is done correctly, right? We got to make sure that. Salakia for one moment. I let somebody in. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, Salakia. Right? The water for your patience in regards to that, right? Everybody put a 1 in the chat if we're not frozen, because I don't see the chat moving. But even if it is, that's not going to freeze the word of the Most High. We're going to keep going, right? So again, we are at Ecclesiastes 8 and 8. There is no man that have power over the spirit to retain the spirit. Nobody. Nobody's the water for y'all, right? Nobody has the power. Please hear this. Please hear this, right? No man have power over the spirit to retain the spirit. Christ couldn't retain the spirit, right? The water, Sister Janetta, right? Christ couldn't retain the spirit. He gave up the ghost. He had to do that for Israel, right? The Most High sent him to do that. He was on a mission, a one-way ticket type scenario, right? Really round trip, because he ended up ascending back up into heaven. Then he came back down because he still had to give a little bit more message, right? We really got to look at the Most High and his son and look at how powerful the mission is. He says he's only coming for his sheep, right? And if you've ever seen the job of a sheep herder, it's not easy, right? Especially with sheep, because sheep can sometimes be scatterbrained, right? They all over the place. You telling them to come do this, that's why sometimes you got to have a sheepdog. I saw this firsthand when we went to get the actual lamb that we slaughtered one year, right? It was a process, because when the sheep see you coming, they all go over here on one side, right? Then they'll go all over here. Now, once you pick one, they still run an interference for it because they're wise enough to be on one accord. This is how we have to be at the Lord. We have to be on one accord with him, right? To actually move when he say move, just like when the cloud was over the tabernacle. We didn't go unless the cloud went, right? We have to be just as obedient as our ancestors. We want to try to avoid an automatic death sentence. We definitely want to do, and I pray that each and every one of y'all listening has this understanding that we want to know that no man has power over the spirit to retain the spirit. When it's time to go, it's your time to go, right? You can take as many pills or any treatments or things of that nature. When it's time to go, it's time to go. That's why a lot of our elders used to say, I'm tired, I'm ready to go home. And then next thing you know, they give up their ghosts, right? Because at the end of the day, they've lived their life. They've done what they were supposed to do, right? But again, it says, neither have he power in the day of death. So in the day of death, you're not going to just say, let me take these bullets out. You're not Wolverine. You're not Deadpool. You're not none of that foolishness, right? You can't reverse your life on your own at your own hand. What you can do, right, is keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, pray, repent, and make sure that you're not willfully sinning, and basically try to give yourself the best opportunity to make it to the kingdom, right? That's what you can do. And we must do it. It's not just a can, it's a must. You want to be worthy of the kingdom, right? You got all these fringes on your clothes, you're buying all these dresses and head wraps, right? You're eating the dietary law, and then you're out here committing adultery. That makes no sense to do that. Why, right? Why be over much wicked, right? Why should thou die before thy time? You don't have to, right? But what you do want to understand, right? What you do want to understand is that no man have power over the spirit to retain the spirit. Neither have he power in the day of death. And there is no discharge in that war. Neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given unto it. So these Edomites, right? These Idumeans that don't care, right? They put all this weird stuff in the fruit, all this weird stuff in the vegetables, right? Then they give you, we're going to give you plant-based food. Now you got all of these different chemicals to make it taste like what it looks like on a box, right? It's just more and more. The Most High didn't sign off on that, but in a sense he did, right? In a sense he did. This is the reason why when you see a lot of people come into the country from our brothers of Issachar coming in from Mexico, they come in with fruit. That fruit is some of the best fruit that you're gonna get, because it's not being created in a lab. It's not being created in a controlled scenario with chemicals and addiges and things of that nature, right? Because like I was just talking with Captain Jerubbaal yesterday, I said, man, the mangoes out here are so small, right? I mean, they're small. You can, one hand small, you might as well say it's almost an orange. In Florida, where I'm from, right, my boy, he had a mango tree. And those mangoes were the size of Like you see the papayas in the store now, the big papayas. If you cut off like 1/3 of that papaya, that's how big the mangoes were. To where when we be in the house, it sound like someone's trying to bust through the roof when the one will fall off the tree. Boom, boom, big mangoes, right? You could take that mango, and one mango would be the size of 2 and maybe 1/4 mangoes that you see out here now. And when you get the mangoes out here now, I don't know if y'all seen them, they green. They're not even orange and they're not even ripe. They're not even ready to be eaten yet, right? So it's like they kidnapping the fruit, they kidnapping the vegetables, and they just either shooting them up with something to make it sit on the shelf longer, or they're doing, oh, we're going to give you the seedless grapes, seedless watermelons. And if you want a watermelon with seed in it, you got to find somebody basically on the side of the road that grew it, right? I got a chance to taste yellow watermelon, right? All praises to the Most High. That was something that was good. Now I'm ingesting more and more fruits and things of that nature. Now, of course, we got to pray over everything, but you want to basically give your body a rest from a lot of the things that we have out here. Yeah, you can go to any chicken place, there's 1,000 of them. Any taco place, there's 1,000 of them, right? Hopefully these taco restaurants that Ishikar works in, they start selling fruit, man. That'll be a nice little, you know what I'm saying? And they start selling fruit in there with the tacos. Hey, you want a bag of these oranges? Straight across the border? Yeah. We need that. We need a real vitamin C. Because Esau is basically the one that thinks that he has power in the day of death, right? He's going to have 100, right? Exactly. He's going to have 101 heart surgeries or transplants and things of that nature, right? I don't trust or believe in modern, like the way modern medicine works. Oh, we got to give you a blood transfusion. Well, who blood is y'all finna give me, man? If I had to get one of those, or one of my brothers and sisters have to get one of those, you're going to tell me my blood bad, right? And then put some mystery blood in me. Really? Come on, what are we doing? We not, that's like, come on, man, that's crazy. Because now what happens, the bigger the fruit, the more chemicals and processing. Aqua Tribe of Gad. Good to see you, sis. Shalom. Aqua Genesis. Good to see you. Khan. There's small avocados in Mexico because they're a kilo sometimes. Mm-hmm. Khan. Because the fruit that you see here, I'm gonna tell y'all something crazy. Y'all never see the fruit flies around them. When y'all go in like any of these stores, even the organic stores, look for the fruit flies around the fruit. How it used to be. Shalom, my Houstonians. Sister Mary in the house of Daniel, man. Barakatah to everyone in the chat. Esau's very complacent at what they're doing. It's beyond disgusting, right? It's vile, right? But this is what the characteristics of them say. So when we say Esau is the devil that the Bible speaks of, right? And that these Edomites are part of it, they will make it seem, oh, you're racist, you're this and that. Yes, I love my people. Yes, I do. You're correct. But what you guys are doing is something completely different. You don't see indigenous Latinos, Native Americans, or so-called Negroes out there snatching all the trees out the ground with the fruit on it and then giving you the remixed fruit. They shoot in each and every animal they can. Hey, that's the last condor. Ah! Just so they can say that they did it, right? They're giving all of these scenarios. This is the reason why they're going to have to rebuild and fix all of this. They think they're going to get away. That's why I say they think that they have power in the day of death, right? They think that they're just going to lay down like in the movies and eyes just going to pop open and they're going to sit up like the Undertaker. Yeah, you're going to sit up like the Undertaker to do that work to fix this problem that you created. You will clean all the water, each and every drop of the water, man. You cleaning all of that. Esau, you're going to clean all the air, all the earth, right? All the blood out of the earth. You got to clean all that out, Esau, because you spread it. You spread that. We're not out here trying to, like you got these designer dogs that they selling. That's crazy, bro. Oh, the dog 15,000. It look, you know what I'm saying? It look like Lilo and Stitch. Y'all see them little Lilo and Stitch dogs they got out here, 15,000. You know what I'm saying? It looked like a little bulldog, but it looked like that thing from Lilo and Stitch, man. Come on. Lord ain't, he didn't say do that to my animals, man. And we can't buy into that. We out here, oh, I'm gonna be a dog breeder and this, that. Okay, that sounds lucrative, but they breeded us too, like dogs. You see what I'm saying? And they sold our people all in up and down the East Coast and West Coast, and things of that nature. They have done that, right? We need to focus on the Lord, man. These things that Esau taught us, it's time to put those away, and we need to stop worrying about that because we have no power in the day of death. We're not trying to move closer to an automatic death sentence, right? When we were in the wilderness, we had to rely on the Lord. We're right now getting closer to that, right? When I was younger, there's fruit trees. Exactly. So you running around playing before the ice cream truck man ever drove ice cream truck. What do kids have? We got the water hose and we got fruit off the trees, right? That's what we have. As long as you wasn't wasting the people fruit off their trees, they did not care. You want an apple, go get you an apple, right? And y'all can split it. You see what I'm saying? That's how we could go outside and play for hours in the hot sun and still not be tired. As long as you get that water hose water and get that fruit, we were straight. We weren't worried about coming in the house. That's the difference between now. These children now, they can't do anything. You take them to the mall or you take them somewhere, they got to do a lot of walking. When are we going home? I'm tired. I want to go sit down, right? God. My grandmother had a orange tree in the backyard, and when Tropicana went to, they decided to go to the government to get a loan, right? And what ended up happening was they said, look, we can't afford to pay out back because too many people in Florida got citrus trees. They got orange trees. So they're not buying the Tropicana. So what did they do? They came up with crafty counsel, Esau, like he is. And they said, we're going to put these things, we're going to spread them out. We're going to start sprinkling them. And it's going to create something that's going to start eating the oranges from the inside out, right? And then what we're going to do is going to make an excuse and say, oh, that is pestilence. You can't have that. And they're going to come snatch your tree or hew your tree down. So now you ain't got no fruit trees, right? God, everybody, all of us, we can remember all of us had trees that we can actually go get nutrients off. We can have a little barter system. We had these options. Now they've taken it away. Now our people don't know how to barter with one another. Now most people are greedy, right? They're greedy at this point. But we got to understand, we have no power in the day of death, right? Let's go over and get a precept for that, right? Because guess what? These heathens, they trying to lead us into an automatic death sentence, man, by trying to keep us in sin, doing the foolishness. We're going to go over to Isaiah chapter 43 and 13, Salakia, right? It says, yea, before the day was I am he, right? I'm going to say it again. Yea, before the day was I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? The Lord is going to do the work, right? There's nothing that can deliver you out of the hand of the Most High, right? God, they got all types of things going, right? I'm gonna tell you what they're doing. Remember when the so-called pilgrims showed up, and they figured, okay, we're gonna give them the blankets first, right? We're gonna give them the pestilence on the actual blankets, right? Then it went to, we're gonna go ahead and have them kill all the buffaloes off. We're gonna go ahead and start damaging their crops, burning their crops out. This is basically a hostile takeover, right? But they knew we couldn't eat, we wouldn't be able to survive. Our strongest warriors would end up dying out and be easier to pick off, right? That's the reason why that warfare that went on between the European countries and the Native Americans, right, was what they described as savagery. That's why they called them savages. Nah, they weren't savages when you was begging for their corn. It wasn't savages when, oh, I'm lost, help me get through this or help me get through that. It wasn't savages. They only became savages when they fought back, right? We only become these negative bywords when we choose to say enough is enough, man. I'm not going to let you make my children believe there's something that they're not. My daughter's not going to be another Sexy Red, right? My son's not going to be a King Von or any of these dudes rapping about killing after killing after killing, and woman talking about having sex with this person, that person, this person. Oh, I'm going to have an abortion. I'm going to do this. These things are automatic death sentences, right? They're automatic death sentences. Which chapter verse in Isaiah? Oh, that was Isaiah 43 and 13, King. Salakia. If I said it kind of fast. Because we got to understand what the Most High is telling us. He said that there's none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it, right? He's letting you know his promises that he made, he's letting you know no weapon formed against you shall prosper. So when we eat a lot of these fruits that's GMO or remixed fruits and things of that nature, when we're eating these things and we pray to the Lord and we believe that he's blessing those things, guess what? The Most High is reversing a lot of the processes that are in those things that we're eating, right? They say they put the microplastics in the rice. Can't have the rice no more, even if you're eating jasmine rice. Now they got the black rice. What do you think they're going to put in that? If they're putting baking soda in the bottled waters, right? Then when you, right, you open that, if we're not mindful of what we're up against, I'm telling you, this is why it's great to fast. Praying and fasting, this is why it's great to do that. Because guess what? None's going to be able to deliver you out of the hand of the Most High, right? None can deliver you. The Most High say, hey, that's it. I need you to come back, right? Edible Legos. Oh, man. Not the edible Legos. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy, right? Now they have you know what's even more crazier? Esau wants to keep our people in sin so bad, right? To get that automatic death sentence. Think about it. There's edibles. Oh, yeah. Officer, this is a Kit Kat. Yeah, don't smell like weed. You bite, you eat half of that, mom. You be high out of your mind. Who knows what chemicals they done put? It's Tuskegee Airmen all over again. And our people going for it. Oh, yeah, I'm going to eat these gummy bears. It's going to have, got THC in it. They selling them everywhere, right? Let's say you're an irresponsible parent and you leave that candy out or that edible food out that got the THC or the drugs in it, and your children come home with their friends from school, right? And they say, ooh, who Kit Kat this is? I don't know. Now they all in there eating them Kit Kats. They thinking it's a regular Kit Kat. They see it in the back of the refrigerator behind something. Oh, because they want to get it nice and cold. You know how some people want their chocolate cold. Now you eat it. That child eats it, gives it to his friend, gives it to his other friend, gives it to his other friend. One of their friends go into a cardiac arrest. Don't make it, right? The ambulance or the police show up to the house. You come home, and they're like, oh, what's this? The child has now ingested this and died from it. You're going to lose your children. Depending on if you renting your house or you in an apartment, you're going to get kicked up out of there, so you ain't going to have no home. Your life is going to spiral down to the floor and crash and burn, all for trying to think that you're going to, well, you said don't destroy your temple with smoking, right? They already happening. And the thing is they're covering it up. They've made so much money in the cannabis industry that they can cover up anything, just like when it was nicotine in the cigarettes or the alcohol, right? They've made so much money off of our trusting behavior that we have as a people. To now, they can just make you go away. They can make your family go away. They can make your claim go away and never see a court. They got enough money to buy the judge, the public defender, the DA, your lawyer, their law firm. They got enough money to buy all of that stuff out now, right? Trust me, eating edibles for sleeping, melatonin works better, and it's not a drug. I'm gonna tell you what works better than that. Read your Bible till you fall asleep. How many times have you read the Bible and that sleep spirit is trying to get all over you from reading the Bible? You, in the beginning, God created heaven and you fighting to keep your eyes open, or you're studying, right? Go study your Bible. The Most High will bring that soothing, peaceful spirit over you. You don't need no melatonin because who knows what they're putting in that, right? I'll be up to, hey, trust me, I'll be up like 2, 3 in the morning, but after a while, it's a time you go lay down and listen to, you know what I'm saying? I sleep with one earbud in. It comes out over the night, you know what I'm saying? It falls out of my ear or whatever. But the thing is you gotta put your body in a restful state of mind. Drink some ice cold water, right? With the ice in it, like put it in the freezer till it's frozen, break it up to where there's little ice chips in it, and sip it slowly till you drunk by half of it. Go lay down, and guess what? Your body, your actual nervous system will be so relaxed, it'd be easier to fall asleep, right? It'd be easier to fall asleep. Most High will, or just pray for a peaceful rest and start laying down. And Most High go ahead and guide you into sleep. Because the thing is, there you go, shower out before you go to sleep. You wanna basically do different natural things. Because once we get into the wilderness and the Most High crash Esau wicked system, there won't be any way to get these prescriptions or these items. So you might as well start learning your body, right? Try to fast more if you can. I wake up, sometimes I won't eat or drink anything till maybe, sometimes after 12 noon, I might have like a sip or two of water, right? But now I done got into making these smoothies and stuff. So no sugar in the smoothie, no natural white sugar, just the sweetness of the fruit. Sometimes I'll be forgetting to eat. I'll be so full off of that, right? So we gotta really have an understanding that, again, you don't want to die before your time, right? I work out and study, burns you out. Yep. Go for a 30-minute walk if you can. That's what I do. I put on a whole bunch of different layers, thermal, sweat vest, you know what I'm saying, undershirt under that, sweatpants. I got a scully on with a towel on under that. And I walk out here, it'd be 105, 110, whatever, right? When I come back home and I take a cold shower after that to let my body completely cool down naturally, right? Once I take that cold shower, my body's kind of in a relaxed mode. A lot of times I don't fell asleep after that because you've relaxed your body. You worked it to a point of exhaustion, not over-exhaustion, but a point of exhaustion. Come back home, you go to sleep. So there's a lot of different options you can utilize, but we don't need these prescription like sleep pills or sleeping aids or any of that stuff. Like they try to give my ribs sleeping pills. I'm like, nah. As much as you fall asleep, you don't need that. What are you taking that for? Oh, I'll be waking up. I said, so guess what? It says I injured my spine on Tuesday. I can't really walk. Oh. Yeah, I thought some prayers for Brother Jose, man. That the Most High heal and re-strengthen his spine, man. Dang. Well, those afflictions, that's the Most High say he working with you right now, right? He's working with you. So I pray that the Most High give you that endurance to get through those situations, Brother Jose, right? It's back to the precept. We got to make sure that we understand you don't want to die before your time. And if you are going to die before your time, you have no power in the day of death. So if you got an automatic death sentence, right? And you've done so much to where the Lord has said that's enough, you have no power. If he says, I'm coming to get you early, when he takes these children, these babies, they're elderly, the person that you thought was so good, right? Were they good in the eyes of the Lord, right? Maybe that person was taken as an example to tell you to tighten up because you wasn't doing enough, right? We got to look at it for how it really works, right? Because you can't deliver anyone out of the hand of the Most High. The Most High's right hand is Christ, right? Let's go ahead and get another precept, Deuteronomy 32. Like, share, subscribe as y'all come on in, right? We're going over to Deuteronomy 32 and 39, right? And it says, see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me, right? I kill and I make alive. Let's really think about that for a second, because Christianity tells you God is a good God. He doesn't do this. It's the devil that kills and this, that. What did this just say right here in Deuteronomy? He says, I kill, I make alive. There's no other God with him. The devil is not a God with him. There's nobody on the level of the Most High God. Christ sits at his right hand side. They don't sit on the same throne. They don't have identical thrones. Christ doesn't know when he's coming back. This is more proof. Only God, the Most High God, the Ancient of Days, knows when he's going to send Christ back to implement judgment on this wicked planet, right? And you best to get right with him, or you got an automatic death sentence that's going to be coming then too. You may survive all of that, right? I had a health scare the day, had me in tears, almost went to the hospital till I realized that the Most High is testing me. Con, he is testing you, because when you go to this hospital, right? And I've seen this happen so many times. You go to the hospital, you get there, and then all of a sudden you don't feel anything no more. So you done let them poke you. They done took a sample of your blood. Then they gave you some medication. They done ran up at least $2,000 on your insurance or more, right? And then they're like, oh, we can't find nothing. We didn't see nothing in your blood. We didn't see nothing in your this. We looked at your charts. There was nothing. Maybe you're just a little stressed. Maybe you're this or that. It turns into a bunch of maybes with professionals. Oh, I've been a doctor 20 years, but why you got all these maybes? You should be able to know what I just explained to you in full detail and what that is. The reason why they cannot do so is because this is the Most High's doing. There's no doctor on the planet that's going to be able to diagnose the judgments. You can't diagnose the judgments. You can't. This is the spirits that just the spirit of cancer, the spirit of diabetes, the spirit of high blood pressure, right? Because every time I rip, oh, you gotta take this blood pressure pill every day or XYZ is gonna happen, right? She'll forget, oh man, I ain't take my blood pressure pill. I said, go check your blood pressure. Lower than the mud. Not super low, but where it's supposed to be, right? She'll take the pill, go test her blood later on, it's high. They're playing, man. They're playing. They're playing with us right in our face. They're saying, trust me, don't trust God. Those cigarettes that you've been smoking, that adultery, that fornication you've been doing, right? That actual rebelliousness that you've been doing, that usury you've been doing on your brothers and sisters. Don't even think about that. You might just need to take some of this medication. I'm going to write you a prescription. Because you got to think about it. You know it's wicked when it's like, we ain't got your prescription in this brand, but we got the genetic version. The generics. They got the generics for you. You see what I'm saying? So we got to really look at, is this God's hand? Yes, that's what it is. You got a cold out of nowhere, the Lord may just be slowing you down. He may be saying, hey, come holler at me. The only way he can do that is by making you sick. For you to ask him, Lord, can you please take this off? And by the way, I did this. Lord, I did that. Lord, forgive me of this. Increase that. That's all the Lord wants. So we're praying every day, like I say, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12 again. When you wake up in the morning, before you go to sleep, before and after you eat. If you're constantly at the throne room of the Most High, submitting yourself to him in prayer, giving those oblations, right? It's a lot of times you feel a lot better. Knowing that you're going to the Lord and you're thanking him. Hey, Lord, I thank you that I woke up today. I didn't have no ailments. Nothing hurt. Nothing hurts. I feel completely great, Lord. Thank you for that. Thank you for my family, right? So these So it's a lot of these actual these situations that we go through is, like I said, it's the Most High dealing with you for things that you know he decides to deal with you on so he can get the glory, right? And you giving your testimony allows us to really look at the things that we've gone through privately and say, man, all praise to the Most High for bringing me through that, for taking that away from me, right? From taking these things, God. So it's when they go in and they cut and they operate sometimes, they leave a back door to know that they're going to have to keep coming, right? God. Exactly. He's going to give you that back, but you have to give him all of you, Brother Jose. Not saying that you're not, but you have to give him all of you and more, right? You have to, your body is the living sacrifice, right? All praises that the Most High chose to give you affliction, to bring you closer to him. Even though we don't understand those afflictions, Christ knew that when he came for us, he had an automatic death sentence. He knew that he was going to have to die. He knew the day he was going to die. He knew how he was going to die. He knew who was going to be responsible. He knew all of that and went through it and didn't give one complaint, not one murmur, right? Not one, hey, I'm going to just sneak back to heaven while the disciples sneak. Whoop, I'm out of here. Lord, hey, you know what? You got to stick me in the side. Y'all nailing me to the cross already. Does he have to give me the vinegar? He didn't actually take back none of that. He died for each and every one of y'all watching. That is of the nation of Israel, right? The so-called Negroes, Indigenous, Latinos, and Native Americans. I can't stress that enough, because the Christian's going to tell you, oh, no, you don't have to do what they're doing. So why does the Bible say there was a gate, 12 gates, 12 angels for the 12 tribes of Israel? Are you calling God a liar? Because I want you to keep that same energy when Yahweh and them angels return. When you're in your bed of affliction, I want you to keep that same energy, right? Thinking that it's only one gate. How can you defile heaven? The Most High says, I got this for my children. Y'all, there's people so wicked in the mind that they're willing to try to deface and deform the gates of heaven. Man, I tell you, these people here, over much wicked, right? Over much wicked. So the Most High's told us, right? He's told us in this Deuteronomy chapter 32 and 39, he says, see how that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, I make alive, I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. These words right here are so powerful, right? These words are powerful. I kill, I make alive, right? Shalom, shalom, Aquafadea, right? Did you make it back to Texas, or you still up north? Right? And if you are, I hope that y'all safely residing and moving around in safety while y'all are out of town, right? He says, I wound and I heal. When you have these afflictions, like Brother Jose is saying, the other brothers and sisters are speaking up in the chat, right? When he wounds you with pain and suffering and going through something, he's the one that heals you. He's telling you right here, it's not, okay, all praises, right? I wound you, I healed you. Wow. So in my ribs, she gets cluster migraines, right? She gets cluster migraines, and when she starts to see spots, right? I don't know if you've ever seen spots before. I give you an example. If you take your eyes and close them as tight as you can, put your hands over your eyes till it starts to, mine, it be looking green to me. I don't know why it looks green and black like an old Apple computer, right? But you hold your eyes tight, really tight for a long time and then open them, those kind of spots, I only can imagine that's what she's seeing, right? And then it goes from the spots to her feeling dizzy, right? Motor skills start to slow down a little bit. She's had this since she was a little girl, right? So again, these afflictions walk with us, right? They walk with us. Alopecia at the age of 7, right? So at the end of the hair is important, things of that nature, but the Most High found a more important use for my body, right? That's what he did. They giving out oxys, right? They giving out scissor, right? They giving out Tylenol, all of this. But guess what? Them Tylenols they gave you, Brother Jose, you looking at least $75 a Tylenol, right? They don't give me any drugs. Tylenol is drugs. When you think about it, they got to put some kind of chemical in it, because if it wasn't a drug, it would be free, right? Like a lot of the Benjamites, they'll go get some of that and make, I want to call it soursop, right? But they get this kind of foliage. It's like, it looks like poison ivy, but it's not, right? And they take that and they steam it and they make it into a tea, right? And they use that in regards to, because the less technology you have in your country, the more they want to overtake that country. They look at it as a marketplace, right? The same thing when it comes to your providers. You're on the marketplace. Oh, you can't see that physician, this, that, and that's the Most High trying to save you. You don't need to go there. You need to come to me, Dr. Yahweh, right? Surgeon Ancient of Days, right? Because he says he kills, he makes alive. So when you thought that you was out of there, and the Lord says, all right, I think he gets it. And then you start healing, the doctor's like, hey, I don't know what happened, but your body's doing this, that, and that. It's the Lord. They're not going to say, I guarantee you, go to a doctor or a hospital and say, hey, can you do me a favor? Can we go in here? Who's the sickest person on this floor? Oh, it's so-and-so. Come down here with me. Can we pray and say all praises to the Most High when he heals this person tomorrow? Excuse me? They're going to say, excuse me? Yeah, all praises to the Most High God, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They're not going to do that. Even if you find a so-called Israelite doctor, they're not going to do that. They're not. Because they've signed an actual document that's saying that they can't do that type of stuff. Right? Look at that, 125. Right? They're trying to make money off of you. That's the reason why at the end of the day, the best thing you can do, the best medical attention that you can get, is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. That's it. Because he says he wounds, he heals. So when he wounds you with sickness, right? You don't want to go nowhere. You feel horrible, this, that, and the other. Only he can take that off of you. You can take all the pills in the world. You can take all the medication. Only the Most High, right? That's why he says, I kill, I make alive, I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand, right? That's what we have to look at. There's no doctor, there's no specialist that can actually do it, right? There's no one that can deliver you out of the hand of judgment, which is like a continual reign, right? I'm going to go over to Psalms 139, right? Let's go to Psalms 139. Because you got to think about it. You can't run from God. Haven't we not learned from Jonah? You can't run from him. You can't get away. Like the scripture says, you run from a bear and then run into a lion. Or you run from a lion and meet a bear, right? You get away from the bear, you go in the house and put your hand on the wall, you get bit by a serpent. That's even worse. Because that serpent got that venom coursing through your body. You might stumble back outside and see that bear. That bear might halfway maul you. Then that lion come along and drag you back to the pride. Everybody had a piece of that, right? You can't run from the Lord. So your best bet is to do what he says, right? Psalms 139 and 7, right? It says, whither shall I go from thy spirit? Whither shall I flee from thy presence, right? Where you going to go? How you going to get away? The Most High's eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. They give you Superman, say he got X-ray vision. What you think the Most High got? The Most High can see your makeup. He can add and take things out, like how they show in the Matrix, or like Iron Man when he's building his suit on the digital wall, right? Okay, I'm going to take that cancer out. All right, put some obedience in. All right. Okay, no obedience here. I'm gonna basically increase this sickness, right? I'm gonna make the sin just as equal because I need to call him back, right? It hit me with cortisol shots in my spine. Well, they gave you an epidural, boy. Call it quarters. They gave you an epidural. Hit you in the back with that needle, boy. That thing is no good. It's no good on our sisters either. That epidural, when you look it up, that epidural got that fit in it. It got that fit in it. And they don't hide this stuff. This isn't some military secret. They don't hide it. You can Google it. It's in there because me and my boy was arguing about it, right? I was like, oh yeah, my kid's born with epidural. I said, boy, it was taking a chance because they could have stuck that baby. They could have hit one of them organs or one of them vital areas and stuff like that. Because how many times have you had a nurse or you seen nurses that couldn't find your vein? Oh, we can't find your vein. Your veins are weak. The Most High made you perfect. He made you in his image. Do you think that they can't find the veins or are they just not medically inclined to do it? Because I don't feel like we need to be in here giving them blood and all that other stuff either. Because when you get that transfusion, whose blood are they putting in you? Who? You got to ask yourself, whose is it? Right? Seymour from down the street? Right? That loves to use all types of slurs, right? That was part of the Klan at one point. You want that blood in you? We really got to think about it. They're not going to tell you, hey, this isn't like a seed bank, right? That's even more wicked. The Most High is not in accordance with the sperm bank. You just go on down there, I want a baby that's this, and this. And then the world is so wicked, you could probably put child support on that individual if they're wealthy enough that gave that sperm to the sperm bank. That's not being fruitful and multiply. That's trying to manipulate the system. But again, what does the scripture say? Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Because when that spirit, that automatic death sentence is coming down, where you gonna hide, bro? You gonna hide in your bunker, right? The Most High can just say, "Up, gas leak. Oh, your door won't open. Now you die from that." You see what I'm saying? Go in the bathroom. You may flip the light switch on, execute yourself. It turns into that final destination. Trying to play with the Lord. Lord's like, "Oh, you want to play? I can get real creative." Right? Everybody's so creative, trying to get around keeping these laws and statutes and commandments. You can't. God, they put that swine blood in Newport filters. So when you're smoking a Newport, right, or most of these cigarettes, you're smoking a pig's hemoglobin. They put it in there. These things aren't military secrets. All of this stuff is Googleable. Googleable. That's not a word, but it's going to be a word today. You can Google it and find it. They have a way. So these so-called like Muslims and stuff like that, I study the hadith and I don't touch any swine, but yet you smoking a cigarette, you got pig's blood in it, right? Yeah, you didn't know that? If you got the Newports, Calvin, leave the Newports alone. Trust me. At the end of the day, they put that kind of stuff. The reason why they put the pig's hemoglobin in it is to kind of filter out the actual chemicals. You see it? Oh, I thought you said you just pulled it up. So we in here talking about how they just try to manipulate us to try to get us to serve them versus serving the Most High, right? And how you cannot, and I'm going to read this again, Psalms 139, it's good to see you, brother. 139:7 says, "Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence?" We can't hide from the Lord, man. You cannot hide from his judgment, right? Oh, all praises, man. All praises, man. All praises. Because, boy, I tell you, them things don't mean no good. I used to take my dad poach and put them in the freezer. And I remember one night he came home and said, "Who put my," and it was just me and him in the house anyway, so it's kind of a redundant question. He says, "Who put my cigarettes in the freezer?" And I'm like, oh, you found them, right? He said, thank you. You just made them even better, taste better. Went in the room laughing. I said, dang. All right. See what I'm saying? They give you one thing, right? They give you that one thing, and the Most High, like, you wanted to trust in Dr. Seymour? Okay. Now I'm going to give you this. We got to be very careful, family. We got to, right? Because I'm going to tell you, there's people that are in rural areas, right, that have never been to the doctor, and they're 100 plus years old, perfect health. Because they're not going into that, right? But at the end of the day, us as Israelites, we need to go ahead and tap back in with the Most High. Is there going to be days of affliction? Yes. Are we going to go through things that we're not going to like? Yes. Because he already told us, I kill, I make alive. I wound, I heal, right? We are at Psalms 139:7, right? We're talking about where are you going to go from the Spirit of the Most High? And that's a really, I mean, at the end of the day, when you think about people that say I'm atheist, or they'll say that they are a Buddhist or things of that nature, they can hide from their belief system because it doesn't exist. You can't hide from the Most High God, right? You cannot. You cannot hide from him, right? You can get under the covers, hide in the closet. You can do all of that. You can't hide from him, right? If you say, I'm just not going to leave my house, no problem. He'll go inside your other house, your body, and make you have to expose yourself, make you have to pop out, right? We got to really ask ourselves, whither shall I flee from thy presence? Where can you go? So when people are saying, oh, I'm going to leave the United States and I'm going to go here. I'm going to leave and go there. I'm going to leave and go here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go where the Most High can't touch you, man? Our Native Americans promised, hey, if you let us come over here to a land that's never been inhabited by anybody, we're going to serve you. That's what the Northern Kingdom told the Most High. And they came over here and they didn't do that. The Northern Kingdom had their enemy brought swifter than an eagle. They came over here, the conquistadors, Pilgrims, the Spaniards, the French, you name it, right? All praises, man. All praises, right? Because a lot of us had to get that sin off, man. Had to get that sin off. My cousin, he's an atheist, right? He got to the point where he started blaspheming the Holy Spirit, mocking God. And I said, bro, I'm done. Even though he was my favorite cousin, me and him have a company together. And we haven't spoken in probably, say about maybe 3 or 4 years consecutive. Not at all. No text message, no nothing, right? All praises to the Most High, because even though that was my favorite cousin, right? The Most High had to move that person out of my life. That was his choice, his decision. I can't say, well, Lord, don't do it, right? I can't take him out of his hand. If you want to take him and move him over here and put a wedge between us, so be it. He had to put that wedge between me and sin. I was okay with that. So, hey, move all the sinful stuff, right? Move it all out, right? Let's go over to Samuel, 1 Samuel, right? 1 Samuel. Because a lot of times the Most High got to move it. Got to move it out of your way. You may not be discerned enough to see it, but then when you think back on it, after some years some past, you're like, oh, now I get it. Lord's like, see, there you go. Right? Samuel understood, right? Samuel understood. Well, his mother understood how the Most High worked, right? Because Hannah could not have any children. I never understood. That was the craziest part. And I told him that one day. I said, well, look, if you don't believe in it, then how can you mock it? Like, what kind of power is that supposed to have? Right? What does that do by you doing that? And he was like, well, I don't believe in the spaghetti monster. I'm like, okay, you can call it that, right? But clearly you believe in something if it's bothering you enough to try to mock it. I said, but you don't believe in nothing. You have nothing to believe in. You have a belief system that was created by a heathen that couldn't even explain it. No problem, sis. I mean, that's a really good point. There might be someone in here in the chat that hasn't said, hello or anything of that nature, that's wrestling with the spirit of atheism, right? You got to ask yourself, how can I say something doesn't exist, but I'm concerned with it, right? Clearly it has to exist enough for you to try to create a thought system on trying to combat it, right? These are the things that happen. But in this verse I'm about to read in 1 Samuel chapter 2, Hannah was giving a song of thankfulness, right? She was giving a song of thankfulness. Because guess what? She had just given birth to Samuel. She was barren at a while. She had to pray and believe. See what I'm saying? That what bigger medical astonishment can it be than you're barren, you can't have kids? And the Most High's like, nope, I didn't say that. Now you got a baby, right? We got to look at how powerful the Most High God said, he wounds, he heals. So her womb, with a B, was wounded with not being able to have children. The Most High says, I'm going to heal that, and I'm going to bring the prophet Samuel, a mighty prophet, through you, right? 1 Samuel 2:6, right? Because this was lyrics of her actual song of thankfulness, right? I'm going to start at verse 5 and read down. It says, they that were full have hired out themselves for bread, right? Hiring out yourself for bread. You're selling your soul, right? You're already full. You're greedy. This shows the greediness that people are. You're already full, but you're going to sell yourself for bread. What point does that make, right? It says, and they that were hungry ceased, right? So that the barren have borne 7, right? And she that have many children is waxed feeble, right? So she's basically giving that thanksgiving because the other sister or wife was actually Benaniyah, right? She was able to have children, but Hannah didn't have no children. So she was around here like really, really not being a sister to her. She was out here mocking them, mocking Hannah because Hannah couldn't have children, right? Yeah, they be doing a lot of that, right? They be doing a lot of that. But then when it says one that has many children wax people, she was thanking the Lord for what the Lord had done for her, giving her a mighty prophet. She didn't even know how mighty he would be, right? But guess what? She went to him in prayer and she stood on the commandments. She stood on the word of the Most High, right? And guess what she said in them lyrics? Look what she quoted, right? She says, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and he bringeth up, right? This is the precept to Deuteronomy 32 and 39, right? As well as Ezekiel 37 and 3, right? Verse 7, the Lord maketh poor and he maketh rich. He bringeth low, he lifteth up, right? So we got to really think about where we are, right? We are the poor. Making us rich is getting into that kingdom, right? We want to get into that kingdom. That's where your riches and glory is. This is what Christ told us. Riches and glory is in heaven, right? This is our main focus. This is our objective. Once you've made it into the kingdom in those gates, there's no more sorrow, there's no more pain, there's no more any of that. All the things that we go through on this earth, seeing our parents reject the Lord, seeing our loved ones reject the Lord, seeing our, our children or our spouses or our brothers or our sisters reject the Lord openly, right? And then to watch the Most High bring judgment upon them. Just be thankful that that blood is not on your hands. Years ago, I thought I was Voodoo Priestess Young. That was spells from YouTube. All praises to the Most High, Princess, well, Aqua Coco, right? Or, this is the Most High, listen to my best friend. I tell you, at the end of the day, just like Aqua Dasha, right? She was in the witchcraft as well. Now, Most High took that from both of y'all sisters, man. Y'all put some hand claps in the actual chat for each and every one of y'all who actually was able to be brought back into the graces of the Most High to have that second chance, man. Walking away from my aunt, my dad's sister was, my family from the Bahamas on my dad's side. My Aunt Roz was heavy in witchcraft, right? Had a big old Aunt Your Mama looking doll. It was all black, right? It had on that checkered red and white pattern type scenario that you saw Aunt Your Mama wear. It had the bandana on, everything, the whole nine. It had like a little, it was sewn to have a hand. It had a full body. It sat in the rocking chair right there looking at the back door, right? Not the front door, but it was like a back door. And they had a car with lottery tickets and a whole bunch of other foolishness in it, right? I felt uncomfortable to walk around the house after everybody was asleep. Like if I had to go to the kitchen or something like that, I wasn't trying to deal with that as a child, bro, because that thing was creepy, super creepy. All praises to the Most High, hallelujah, Yahweh, man, for the freedom that he's given these brothers and sisters watching today to come away from the sins of the world that was going to get them an automatic death sentence, man. They're giving them an actual opportunity to have everlasting life in your kingdom, Lord. I'm thankful for that, man. I'm thankful. These are the things that give me extra, like that extra to keep going when you get weak. Think on your brothers and sisters, man. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. These things, and guess what? Think about everybody who win the lottery. All the crazy stories. Oh, the guy won the lottery. He was like dirt broke, right? He had a girlfriend that was kind of down with him and she killed him for the money and disappeared. Or the more, like Biggie said, more money, more problems. Now your family start coming out the woodworks. Oh, yeah, sister, I need this money for my light bill. I need this. I need money for this and that. And blase squaze once they find out you living a good life, right? There's more than one kind of voodoo, right? Like how they had the voodoo beads and the spells and the crystals. Yeah, a lot of our sisters wearing the crystals and these different fads, right? You got to be very mindful. They'll try and put it on your phone. They try to put it on your game. Think about it, right? When you play those games, Candy Crush and a lot of those games doing combination and stuff, it's witchcraft. You know why? Because you're in a trance. Now, people may say you might be stretching it, right? But the further you are away from the Lord, the closer you are to death and sin, right? Okay, is it all right to play a little game on your phone and stuff like that? Con. But guess what? Esau's now tricked our children into believing that you can play video games for 24 hours a day and become a gamer, right? And you're making all this money. No. Not if they haven't chosen you to make that money. And that even then, it's gonna come with some kind of stipulation, right? The promises, the gifts, and the things of this world. That's why Christ said, if you love the world, you're not worthy. You're not worthy at that point, right? All praises that these sisters are coming away from these spirits of witchcraft. The same thing for these brothers, right? A lot of us were warlocks. We call it, I'm out here spitting game to these chicks. No, you're out here manipulating minds into doing something that wasn't pleasing to the Lord. So we were actual warlocks too, because guess what? I was selling weed. Weed alters your mind, right? Now they're in a spell because they want to keep getting high. I'm their warlock when they come to me to get weed, right? I'm helping them defile their temple by them that spell of that Kush or that OG or that purple, right? Those spells that I'm giving out. Yeah, go ahead and hit this real quick. Yeah, that's hitting, ain't it? Yeah, it's hitting. I'm putting a spell on them to make them to believe that's you know what I'm saying? That weed is doing something for them. It's doing nothing but taking their money and taking their life and putting their blood on my hands, bro. Putting their blood on my hands, right? Yep, they got the tarot cards, all of that. And I'll be getting on my family too. I make this joke when they be playing Uno and stuff. I see y'all be in here cheating. Y'all got these cards with these numbers on it. Y'all playing these little card games and stuff like that. I say y'all be getting out the spirit on Uno. Who's to tell what they're doing with these cards, man? That's is really to the point of you can't really trust nothing. That's why you got board games, right? Like Monopoly. They got something on every corner of that board. Go to jail, pass go, right? Get free or something like that. They got all of these different things, right? They got the Ouija boards, all of that kind of foolishness. I see my cousin mess with one of those, and she was doing something. Next thing she's like, start bleeding from my hand. It wasn't nothing sharp on that thing at all. Just out of nowhere, the most had to pop their hand. Leave that alone, right? We got to really look at it. We got to look at it. The Most High can take us down to the grave. None of these things is going to bring us back out, right? These social medias, a lot of these social networks, like I said, it's a portal. It's no different than looking into a witch's cauldron. I can see what's going on all around the world by just flipping my screen. It's a form of witchcraft. I could be focusing on the Lord, focusing on my family, but no, I'm here for an hour scrolling, watching videos, watching foolishness, right? That's how they get us. That's how they get us. You don't want an automatic death sentence, man. Because he's going to bring you down to the grave. He can bring you up, right? Because guess what? When we were in our sinful nature, we were at our lowest. We were almost down to the grave because we could have been killed at any time and died in sin. Who wants to do that? Because you know what happens when you do that. Shalom in Williams 64, right? Shalom. Let's go over to 2nd Esdras. Right? Let's go over to 2nd Esdras. All praises for each and every brother and sister, the children of Israel, that's laboring in this class, right? All praises. 2nd Esdras 15, and we're going to go to 26, right? Think about it. When these people are practicing these things in our home, this is an automatic death sentence, right? When these children like my son used to I like Yu-Gi-Oh! No, hell to the no. Ain't no Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, all of that type of stuff is tarot cards, man. All of that kind of stuff with these cards, games on the board, what is it? World of Warcraft, all of that type of stuff, man. What's the other thing? Minecraft. Might as well say witchcraft, right? It's a bunch of foolishness. It's a bunch of foolishness, man. Con, all praises. Good to see you, Sister Lydia, right? All praises for the opportunity that we get. Now that you know you got that opportunity, don't drop the ball, man. Don't drop the ball, bro. Right? 2nd Esdras 15 and 26. This is a really, really tough precept, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 24 and read down to get a little bit more, right? It says, woe to them that sin. Woe means destruction. W-O-E means destruction. So destruction to them that sin, right? And keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. I will not spare them. God is not a man that he should lie. If he say he ain't going to spare you, that's an automatic death sentence, right? Fully automatic. It says, I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary, Defile not the sanctuary of the Lord, man. Your body that he's giving you to be the living sacrifice, right? Verse 26 hits the hardest, right? It says, for the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them into death and destruction. Verse 27, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them, for God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him, right? You got to really think about what you're doing when you do it, right? You got to really think about that, because he already told you, going to deliver you into death and destruction, right? Always. God, they got all these weird games, got these kids in a, man, I'm telling you, every time me and my wife out and we see children, I say, look. And she be like, dang, the boy almost tripped over the curve and fell, but he just so in the phone. They don't need to put the VR glasses on you. They got you already. They got you already by just looking at that screen for hours. Phone could be piping hot in your hand. You're still going to hold on to that phone and keep going, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians 3:13, right? Let's see what it says, because it says, look, already, the Lord knoweth all of them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction, right? And we read what 24 and 25 said as well. But let's get this 1 Corinthians 3:13, and it reads, every man's work shall be made manifest. So what you're doing, right? If your works are works of evil, and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, your works are going to manifest, right? So all praises for y'all who repented and came out of y'all sins and come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. All praises to the Most High for that, right? Barakatah, Yahweh, Barakatah, you for being, a willing to not go back to it. The Most High is going to destroy everything around you to get you to do what he says to do. He's not playing with those that he loves, man. Think about it as a parent. You go in a room and break all your children. You see the videos. I'm going to put the Xbox under the tire. My child didn't want to listen. And they ride over the Xbox. They ride over the TV, the toys. They burn them on the grill or put you see what I'm saying? They do these things to show you, hey, look, this is your God. I'll destroy it, right? We have to really think about Most High has came to get us so many times, bro. You don't want to be out there waiting on the Lord and he ain't showing up. You don't want, if you've ever had a situation where you wait for somebody to come pick you up and they ain't come, my dad used to do that sometimes, but I found out when I was older, he used to work 14 and 16-hour shifts driving bus after he got out of the military. So a lot of times he was completely tired, right? Completely exhausted because he started giving his life to doing that, right? And it costed him his life down the line for not being obedient to the Lord. And I had to deal with that, right? I had to deal with that. He says, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. The Most High is going to basically put whatever you're doing up against his actual fire. You got to burn that sin off of you, right? You have to burn those dead works off of you, right? You want to basically look at this situation. You go through these afflictions, when you go through these pains, you're building this testimony for somebody to hear that may be on their last opportunity before they get that fully automatic death sentence. They may need to hear that, hey, I did this. Hey, I did that, but I'm not doing it anymore. The Lord removed that from me. I'm keeping his laws. That may give them the oomph to keep going, or to say, you know what? I can do it as well, right? We need that, right? We need that. If we don't actually believe what the Most High is saying in 13, it says, every man's work shall be made manifest, right? Let's look at the book of Sirach then, right? Let's go over to chapter 40 and 8, right? Sirach 40 and 8. And it reads, it says, such things happen. to all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. You want sevenfold more sin? Like, you know, when you go to the store, you get like some dish soap and it says 30% more soap. But yet it's still a part at the top that's not filled to the brim, right? Or you get a bag of chips, party size, 40% more chips, right? But you can feel the bag is full of air. It's like 40% more air on your chips, right? I don't know if they're counting anything inside of the bag of chips, including the air. We got to be careful, man. They're giving you a bigger bag with a smaller inside, right? Serious. That's how they doing it. And when you don't buy it, they get desperate. When you say, you know what, I'm not paying $4.99 for this little old bag of chips. I'm not paying $3 for this. They get desperate. Oh, come on, please buy it. Okay, I'll make it $2. $2. Come on. Buy it for $2. Right? Please buy it for $2. Please. I can't sell it. I done bought $1 billion worth of this. Y'all supposed to be eating it. And now y'all not eating it. Okay, it's $1 for the big bag of chips now. We'll give, hey, dollar store back up. Hey, I got the Lay's for $1.25. They get desperate, right? But we got to think about it. It's sevenfold more upon sinners, right? Think about it. Verse 9, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood, right? These things are created for the wicked. You want sevenfold, right? Misadvertised because they always play them games with you. They always play them games with you. That's why they don't want you filling up the bags and looking at this or that. No, they play these games. Shalom, salute. So, Dexter, good to see you, King, right? We got to really look at these things that are created for the wicked, because it told you sevenfold more upon sinners: death, bloodshed, strife, the sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, right? We got to look at it. And again, we get the Most High is promising you over and over. If you think that he's playing, you can catch that automatic death sentence, man. If we're foolish enough to think that the Lord is playing, right? Sevenfold, man. Could you imagine that? Sevenfold. Could you imagine sevenfold diabetes? You might just be eating that blind. You just eat one chip. Now you can't see. What the heck going on? You see what I'm saying? You go to get up, your hands swole up like Nutty Professor. Your feet swole up. Man, that's crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like these ailments that the Most High put on you 7 times worth, a 7 times worth toothache or backache. You know what I'm saying? Or something that's wrong is 7 times worth, 7 times the pain giving birth to a child. Man, so you got 3 epidurals and it still ain't stopping nothing. You don't want that 7 times on you. You do not, right? Let's go back to 2 Ezra 15, and I'm gonna get verse 49, right? And he says here, it says, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood. They'll take the husband out, right? They'll take the husband out. Now you're a widow, right? Or they'll take your wife out. You don't want this, right? Who wants this? Shalom. Good to see you, Sister Willina. All praises to the Most High, right? Poverty. Ain't we living in poverty now? We can barely afford groceries. We in poverty, can barely afford gas, right? We in poverty, right? We're in the poverty of the mind as well, thinking less of ourselves, having no self-worth, that we are the children of the Most High, and that we are all powerful if we're doing what the Most High says do. We're not more powerful than the Most High, but we're powerful enough to try and wake up our people to say, hey, come out that sin. It's not worth it. Walk away from them drugs. It's not worth it. You're going to get your fully automatic death sentence, man, right? It says famine, and we got a lot of famine going on, right? Sword and pestilence to waste thy houses with destruction and death. The Lord is warning us, right? He gave a description in that Sirach 48 through 10. Chapter 40, verses 8 through 10. He said these things were created for the wicked, and they're going to be sevenfold more upon the sinners. That's why I started this class out with, why should thou die before thy time? And you're never going to have power in the day of death. You're not, right? You're not going to have any power to just stop it, right? Like, share, subscribe as y'all come on in. We want to make sure that our brothers and sisters in the four corners of the earth is able to see these classes and actually see the word and hear the word of the Most High, right? Because one of your comments, one of your testimonies, right, may have someone walk away from the sin. The Most High may use your testimony, right? Your like may pull this video into another algorithm. For someone else to see it, to say, you know what those people was talking about? Yeah, I was doing that too. I came away from that. Yeah, you know what? That makes sense. God's going to do this and that. Yeah, I'm going to think about it. They get you hooked on these pills. Then they give you another pill to get you off the pill that you hooked on, right? The Most High will put an automatic death sentence on you, man. Automatic death sentence. We got to really trust in the Lord with all our heart. That means that there's going to be times where you're going to have to stand on the faith that, hey, I'm going to trust in the Lord. He already knows how you're coming back to him anyway. You can't alter that unless you want to be out here being over much wicked or foolish, right? And then you die before your time. Now, you want to do that, hey, that's on you. I would not suggest that. I would suggest the complete opposite, right? All right, so now we're going to go over to Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, chapter 1. We're going to verse 12, right? It says, seek not death in the era of your life. Don't let your life be an era like Sexy Red, right? Don't let your era be like a King Vaughn, right? Any of these guys that are actually doing it. Because you got to think about how wicked our world is getting. That's why you see a lot of these 20 verse ones, right? Or this balloon pop stuff. You know what these things are doing? Creating the spirit of pride, narcissism, self-hate, low self-esteem, right? Our children, I want to go on a 20 verse 1. For what? You got these women on here dressed all like prostitutes. Use a nice word, right? They're online prostitutes. They're digital whores. Unfortunately, right? They'll say, don't call me that, I'm not this. But they'll tell you that a man has to have all these qualifications to take them on a date, right? And then they have to spend this much money just to show the girl that, you know, it's worth it for her to even have interest in them. Or all the women with the balloons, the guy comes out, he has a job, he's doing well for himself, and they're popping the balloon. The first guy they popped the balloon told him, you're too short. I want a guy over 6 foot. I want him to look like this and that, right? The Lord's like, okay, watch this. He sends that same man that they just talked about out, right? This is the folly of our nation. This is why we have to come back to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. This is why it says, seek not death in the era of your life, right? This is why you have to not have this error in your life. The guy will come out looking just exactly how they just described and told the last 3 guys, I don't want you because of this. You look this or that, but I'm looking for a guy that looks like this, this, and this. They send out that man beyond that. As soon as the guy walks out, pop, 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 all the women are popping the balloon because the other woman popped it. And then when the guy says, oh yeah, I'm a multimillionaire, I have this, that, I have this going, I don't have any children, I was looking for this and that, blah, this, squad. Now they're like, oh, can I have my balloon back? Now it turns into a whole different scenario, right? Because when they'll say, well, you know, why did you pop the balloon? Well, this, that. Well, you just said you wanted a tall guy. This guy's 6'4". You said you wanted a guy that works out. He's very muscular. You said you wanted a guy that doesn't have dreads, a guy that has this, and this, doesn't have children. He has all of that, right? He's in school to be a lawyer, this, that, and the other. Oh, I don't like the way his shoestrings looking. it's your belt for me, right? Your hands look, a little rough, or I just don't like what that tattoo says. They'll come up with any reason to try to negate the fact that they have made an error in their life, right? That's what it says, seek not death in your error. Death of what? Death of the opportunity of maybe having a good man, being a wife. They pop those balloons because they know they're popping those. The Most High will put the spirit on them to pop those balloons because they didn't mean that man any good. And vice versa. The women that come out, a lot of the guys don't pop the balloons until the woman starts talking. They'll all the men ain't gonna pop not one balloon, right? Unless she's completely repulsive and just completely unattracted to them. That's the only way they're gonna pop that mom. But other than that, they don't pop the balloon. They're gonna listen to her talk first. What you got going on? How many children do you have? What's your goals in life? Things of that nature. They ain't popping a balloon because they want to actually see, right? But it says, seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction for the works of your hands. Look at your hands, right? Your works, your thoughts, your words, your deeds. Do you want to pull that destruction on yourself? You got to ask yourself, do you want to pull that? How do you pull that destruction on yourself? Be not overmuch wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why should thou die before thy time? Right? That's what you have to ask yourself. This is how you can pull destruction with the works of your hands, right? It said in Sirach 40, chapter 48 through 10, sevenfold more upon sinners, death, bloodshed, strife, sword, calamities, right? These things are created for wickedness. So when you bring, again, the error on your life, right? By pulling on yourself destruction with your works of your hands, tarot cards, right? Worshiping lottery, worshiping yourself, right? Worshiping dead people. You start to put these idols in front of the Lord, right? You on the PS5, the PS4, right? We put sports. Oh, my kids got to play football this week. They ain't gonna be able to XYZ. The Lord's looking like, really? I send you an invitation to salvation. You give me a rain check? That's what we doing now, Israel? Are we really trying to rain check the Lord, man? Jonah tried to rain check the Lord. See what they got him? Right? Did you see what Jonah got for trying to rain check the Lord? Right? We cannot do that. We can't think of ourselves that we can just tell the Lord, not right now, Lord. Right now, it's not a good time. You don't have the power to tell the Lord that, man. You don't have power in the day of your death. The Most High may say, oh, it's not a good time. Yeah, it is. Come on home. The body just dropped dead on the ground, right? That can really happen, and it has happened. We're going to get examples, right? Let's go while we're here, right? Because we don't want to pull yourself to destruction. Hold that, because we'll come back to it. Hold that. That's Sirach 1. We'll go over, that Wisdom of Solomon 1, and we're going to go over to Sirach 30 and 21. The book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 21, right? It says, give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel, right? And we just read, and it says here, seek not death of your life. This is that Wisdom Solomon 1 and 12. It's that precept. They go with it. Seek not death in the era of your life. Pull not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hands. Sirach 30 and 21 says, give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. This is the error of your life, right? Thinking your own counsel. Pull not upon yourself destruction. This is the error. This is how you do exactly what the scripture is warning you of right here. Afflict not thyself in thy own counsel, right? That's what a lot of people are doing. Oh, Shalom. That's that Officer Bearcott. Okay, you got the little burner page, you know what I'm saying? The little burner thing there. It's all good. Good to see Good to see you, Officer Berechiah. All right. Wisdom of Solomon, we're going back. 1 in verse 13, right? It says, for God made not death, right? That's heavy. Got to really think about that, right? Neither has he pleasure in the destruction of the living, right? For he created all things that they may have their being, right? Good and bad, right? And the generations of the world were healthful or healthful, and there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. For righteousness is immortal. The Most High created us to be righteous, right? He created us to be righteous. God didn't make death to be that scenario that we actually see, right? Neither have we pleasure in the destruction of the living. The Most High never wanted to have to kill or destroy any of this stuff. When we decided to break his commandments, we went into captivity as a nation. When we decided to stay in sin, the Lord had no other choice but to get our attention with judgment, right? But he's telling you that righteousness was immortal. If you want opportunity at immortality, keep it righteous now. That's what you got to do. Keep it righteous, because there's so many distractions out here, right? You got to keep it righteous. You want that opportunity because righteousness is immortal, right? Let's go over to Hebrews. Let's get something to go with this. Let's go over to Hebrews 9, right? Righteousness is immortal, right? Because what you really want to do is get your mind right, right? You want to get your mind right. Hebrews 9 and 14, right? It says, how much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal spirit offered himself without spot to God. Again, this is another Trinity cutter, right? This is another God is Christ, right? Because Christ, through the eternal spirit, offered himself without a spot to God. So Christ offered himself to himself. Come on, let's make it make sense, right? But this is the importance of this verse right here. Outside of that, purge your consciousness. Purge your conscience from the dead works and serve the living God, right? He did that so we could purge our conscience from dead works, blasphemy, right? Sodomy, right? Witchcraft, whoremongering, right? Idolizing, right? Self-worship. He died so we could come out of those dead works, which were sin, right? To serve the living God. And we just had a bunch of brothers and sisters give their testimony of what they were doing. The Most High brought them out of that to serve him. All praises to the Most High for that. We can't do anything without that, right? We have to purge our conscience from the dead works to serve the living God. Let's get an example. Let's go to Tobit 12 and 9. Right? Let's get an example. Let's go over to see Brother Tobit 12 and 9, right? It says, for alms do deliver from death, right? And we're not talking about monetary all the time. Spiritual alms, doing right by your brothers and sisters, giving wise counsel according to the word and the law of the Most High, right? Giving that time for someone to, vent their anger, and then giving them endurance or encouragement through the word of the Most High. These are ways to give alms, right? These are ways to give it, right? Because you know what? Let me jump up to verse 8, because that we need this as well. It says, prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness, because righteousness, remember what it said, righteousness was immortal, right? Prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. A little with righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness. It is better to give alms than to lay up gold, for alms do deliver from death and shall purge away all sin. These that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life, right? It says, but they that sin are enemies to their own life. That's deep right there, bro. That's heavy. The Most High said you're enemy to your own life if you're in sin. That's why he said sinners are going to get sevenfold. We just read that. This is why we have to purge our conscience from the dead works, which is the sin, to serve the Most High God. That's why we had to get this example. We got to have these alms, doing things in righteousness for our brothers and sisters, right? These are alms. Teaching the class can be an alm to the Lord, right? Doing flyer missions can be an alms. Going out to the streets can give an alms. Giving that good word to someone to come out of sin, that's an alms, whether they hear or no forbear. We got to make sure prayer is good, 12 o'clock. Well, when you first get up, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, before and after you eat, before you go to bed. Prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. You need all of that, right? You need all of that put in together. You need to basically implement it. Prayer, fast, righteous. You gotta let your light shine, Israel, right? You gotta let your light shine. All praise to the Most High, Capt, right? Because without doing that, right? Without doing that, you are an enemy to your own life. Why be an enemy to your own life? Why die before your time, right? Why die before your time? You don't have any power in death. You're not going to be able to tell the Lord, no, Lord, I'm not giving you my spirit. I'm going to keep it in my body. No, you can't do that. No matter how much they show you in a movie, when their people are trying to refuse giving up the ghost, to me, that's an insult to the Most High. When they do that, right? When they do that, that's an insult to the Most High. He says, he killeth, he maketh alive, right? We got to let him do his work. But we don't need to be interfering to the Most High has to move you out the way permanently, right? Do what you need to do that's good in the eyes of the Most High, right? Don't think that, oh, well, I ain't died yet. Well, I'm still alive. You know what I'm saying? Is this your king, right? Because when you do that, you do this, right? Not only are you an enemy to your own life, but this is what you're doing at that point, right? And this is folly that a lot of people do, especially those who are claiming to be atheists, right? Let's go over to Galatians 6, verse 7, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to jump up to 6. So we're going to go to Galatians 6 and 6, right? It says, let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things, right? If you're taught in the word, right, the communication is showing that you're keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, and that you're on one accord with saying, I'm going to do thus say the Lord, not thus say me, right? You want to show all the good things, because when you're doing that, you're giving that extra exaltation to the Lord, and you're empowering your brother or sister to stay on the good fight for the Lord, to keep those commandments, to not let their hand become slack or take their hand off the plowshare or return to the world, because it's real easy to go back into doing that stuff. And when you go back, it's nothing but mockers and scoffers waiting for you to torment you into doing something stupid. You might go back in the world and drink yourself to death or pill yourself out, right? Or go back and, do something really foolish, and the Lord just fully automatic death sentence, right? You gotta hold on, man. You gotta hold on. Because verse 7 tells you, be not deceived. Christ warned us. How many times in the Bible you hear, be not deceived, right? Be not deceived. God is not mocked. So when they sit here and think, well, I ain't died yet. Oh, if I do this, God's not going to judge me for that. When you start doing that, it says God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that he shall also reap. So if you let in your children, right, do all types of things that you know is not pleasing to the Lord, don't be surprised when he takes them, right? Don't be surprised when he takes them, right? My family wasn't letting me go to a lot of parties. I had to be disobedient and sneak out and go to certain things. And guess what? Every time I went to one of these events, death was waiting for me there. Somebody got to shooting. Somebody got to fighting. There was never just, we had a party and everything went just fine. Think about that. Those parties that you wanted to go to so bad, and let's say you couldn't go, the Most High said, you know what? I don't even want you there. So your ride, all of a sudden, their car went to start. Shalom, Elijah, right? You couldn't get that ride. Your friend didn't pick up. They got sick at the last minute. Then you hear 5 or 6 people didn't make it out that party. The Lord didn't want that for you, right? He separated you. He kept you holy. If you was at home, you was upset. Oh, man, it's that. You were bored. You ain't nothing to do. Nobody to talk to. Just went to sleep. The Lord kept you safe, man. Safe is sometimes boring, right? It's boring. Because you think about it. Those people that you call nerds and all of that type of stuff, they didn't get invited or anything. They had a boring life. They had a safe life. Because they went to that party, guess what? The dumb jocks may say, hey, there's Edward. Let me just dump him in the punch bowl. Yeah, let me make him do this, or let me throw him in the pool, or this, that. You're going to be a target there. If you're a target at school, you're going to definitely be a target without any adult supervision, right? You definitely going to be a target when they are under the influence of alcohol or narcotics. So we got to really think about whatever man soweth, he shall also reap. If you're out here telling people mistruths about the Bible, God said you don't have to keep the law. God said this. God said that. When he didn't say that, he didn't send you. You're an enemy to your own life when you're doing that. When we're telling our people, we got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We got to do, thus say the Lord. We got to do what God say do. Why is there so much pushback on that? Why is there so many people upset that Israelites are telling people that they need to come out of sin and come back to the Lord's statutes and commandments before Christ come back? What is the problem with that? It's the problem that the people that you care about who don't care about you are not included in going, right? This is the same thing the prophets went through. They went through the same exact thing. No matter where they went, there was a remnant of rebels that was like, oh man, I can't stand when they come here, man. I'm about to go lay with this woman. She over there listening to her. Now she told me, never mind. All praises that sister went back to the Lord during those times. Same thing with us. When we're out there and we're telling people, right? My rib was just telling me last night on one of her, I think she said her cousin or somebody close to her, right? Family member was like, in the beginning when she first started, me and her first started courting. And I told her, hey, I'm an Israelite. These are the rules of the Most High. This is what I'm following. If you're not with that, then we're not with each other. We're not going to do this, right? Straight up, I set up ROEs early because when you don't set up ROEs in a relationship, this is how you get your girlfriend answering phone calls at 2, 3 in the morning, her ex-boyfriend or some foolishness like that. You got to set ROEs when it comes to dealing with somebody in this truth. This is something that you really have to understand, right? The ROEs was set. Our family members started not dealing with us on both sides, right? Not so much my dad's side, because a lot of them, they're in Bahamas, so I don't get a chance to talk to them like that. I don't get to see them. A lot of them are older, right? But my mother's side, right? What did they start doing? Oh, man. Who is that? Brit Yah. Good to see you, Aqua Brit Yah, right? Shalom to you, sis. They started to say things like, oh, man, he's in a coat and he got her in a coat. Y'all in a coat. Because she was like, I don't wear pants no more. I don't go out to parties no more. I don't wear this type of clothes. I don't do this. I don't eat this kind of food. I don't celebrate these holidays and all of this stuff. Now, suddenly her family started to say she's in a coat. And guess what? 2 of those family members ended up joining the congregation of IUIC, right? And I pray they still with them. And they're learning about the truth, right? So the Most High took that spirit of scoffing off of them and brought them into a mighty congregation, right? They actually they get their opportunity at the kingdom of heaven. All praises for that. She said she ended up running into some IUIC brothers. She didn't know what it was called. So, of course, you know, my rib said, well, what color were they wearing? Because this is sometimes how we're able to identify, right? What was on their shirts. She just, they had on purple shirts with gold words on it. And she was the type, I guess, to like to wear those like workout shorts with the crop top, like she going to the gym or something. And she said that they had a in-depth conversation with her about sodomites, about her covering her body, things of that nature. And she's like, man, I got so many questions now. Everything makes sense now. And it's like, it's crazy that we were saying that you was in a cult. And it's none of that. It's not nowhere near a cult. They just want us to do what God say do. And they're telling us what these churches not going to tell us. These pastors refuse to tell us. So all praises for her. The Most High is giving her the opportunity at salvation, right? He's given the opportunity. The Most High can come get you whenever. He may not want you 2 or 3 years. He may use those people to test you to see if you're going to ride for him. If you're going to stay down when everybody turn their backs on you, right? And then those same people that turned their backs on you and said you were in a cult and you wearing a dress doesn't make sense, and why you need a beard and why you got to cover your head and why you got your body covered and why can't you come to Thanksgiving dinner or come to see us on Christmas? Guess what? The Most High come back and say, hey, you know what? I want you now. I want you now, right? And then now you're able to gain some of those family members back in the Lord, right? That's a beautiful thing when the Most High restores those people back to you, right? God, they're calling us a cult, but they don't understand this is our culture, right? What kind of cult invites you to bring your kids? We're going to have us a New Moon Festival. We're having tabernacles, or we're having Feast of Dedication or Passover. Come over, bring your family, have a good time, right? You're free to leave whenever you want. You can eat whatever you want within the dietary law that's there. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to drink to get drunk. Everybody's going to be cordial with you. The kids want to play with your children, right? Your children play with their children. They're having a good time. They don't want to leave. They're having a good time. We all pray together. We're out there listening to truth music. We're having a good time praising the Lord, right? No one's arguing. No one's out there fussing and fighting and carrying on, and they got to stop you know what I'm saying? Someone knocked over the speaker, they tussling, and it ain't none of that going on, right? And the people, when we be saying, hey, good to see you, hopefully you come back. If it's a cult, you ain't leaving. It ain't going to be no invitation or nothing. They going to trick you into coming. Ain't nobody tricking you into coming to no feast day, bro. You are not getting tricked into coming to Passover, right? You're not getting tricked into any of that. Because with a cult, they don't want you to pay for anything. They don't want you to tell your family, nah, you don't need to talk to your family. It's that. Here, they're telling you, hey, try to mend that relationship with your family if you can, right? Forgive them for their sins, right? If they want to learn about the truth, don't shoot them away. Give them the scriptures. Send them a class. Give them an opportunity that the Most High gave you, right? This is where that whole cult thing breaks apart. But they're quick to say that because all they're doing is being a parrot. They're just repeating the same regurgitated scenario that Esau put out there. That's a cult. That's a cult. They would know about a cult. Charles Manson and all of that. Charles Manson ain't do anything that the Israelites are doing, right? And we ain't out here killing our members. Because if that's the case, it wouldn't be more and more and more and more congregations. There's somebody printing a logo right now that's getting ready to go out to the street tonight. That's going to give out flyers. Thus say the Lord. All praises for that. There's somebody right now sewing fringes on their shirt, and it's horrible looking. But they put that ribbon of blue in it, and they're pleased with that work of their hands, right? And they're like, hey, look, I got fringes on my shirt. Or I got fringes on my little girl's dress, or my wife got fringes, right? She found a hair wrap that she wore to sleep, and now she's turned that, you know what, she went and found a couple of dresses that was on sale, and now they're like, you know what, we're going to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. It's time to get out here and fight for the Lord, right? Like when you look at that Endgame with Marvel, how everybody started coming through them portals, that's how Israelites are coming into the truth, man. The Most High is bringing them out of the world. That's why you can see the world on the other side, but you see the portal. They're coming through, the creature transformed. Some of them are stronger than others. Some of them are weaker, right? But as long as they're still trying to strive for that truth of the kingdom, all praises to the Most High, right? All praises. Because guess what? Again, what does it say? Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever man soweth, that shall he also reap, right? Let's get that Mark 15 and 31, right? Because God is not going to be mocked. His child's not going to be mocked. His word's not going to be mocked. His children's not going to be mocked, right? But guess what? There were those that were out here mocking like a mug, right? Mark 15 and 31, right? It says, likewise, also, the chief priests mocking said amongst themselves with the scribes, he saved others, himself he cannot save. Man, that's cold. But you keeping the laws of a God that you believe in, but you're going to mock him and you don't know if he's who he say he is. But this is where a lot of our people are doing. They're mocking, right? They're mad because you cut them off. They're mad because they can't extend their sin. They can't extend that sin no more. Hey, come take a walk with me and smoke. That used to be the Thanksgiving thing, right? Christmas thing after dinner. Oh, we're going to go to the park. Yeah, we going up there to get high as a kite, right? When they can't extend that sin no more, now they were like, dang, I ain't got nobody here to chill with. Now they're going to come get a plate of abomination, then leave or go eat it in the car, right? Because the things that they're telling you that you're missing out on, they're not even partaking over there. Yeah. Because they can't stand this family member. They can't stand that. They can't extend their sin. So like them right here, right? It says, mocking said amongst themselves with the scribes. So they had to get the scribes involved. They ain't just want to be by themselves mocking. They want to get the scribes in on it too. He saved others. Himself he can't save. Wow. You going to mock Christ like that? But guess what? Be not deceived. God is not mocked. You can't mock him doing doing the Most High's business. He came to die on the cross for our sins, right? He came to die for those who needed to be healed. He came to die for the lost sheep of the tribe of Israel, right? He came for them, right? But again, they won't believe that. They'll believe everything else but that. Let's get this Psalm 79, right? Let's get these Psalm 79, because these there's a lot of mockers out here, right? There's a lot of mockers. Psalm 79, verse 10. It says, wherefore should the heathen say, where is their God? Let him be known among the heathens in our sight by revenging the blood of thy servants with his shed, right? And you can get that Deuteronomy 32 and 43 to show that them trying to mock the will of the Most High caught them some instant death, right? Fully automatic death sentence, right? Because these heathens say that. When they were like, oh, we're going to shut down your way of reaching your people or people that follow you. We're going to do this. We're going to strike you out. We're going to shadow ban you, put you in the bottom of the algorithm so no one sees your video. We're going to hold your views and mess with your comments and stuff like that. You could do that all y'all want because they're not even using men to do this. They're using AI to do it. They don't have time to look at millions and millions of videos, millions and millions of moments and seconds and minutes of video. They don't. So they utilize an AI. And I pray in the name of the Most High that their AI is destroyed from internally and that more and more righteous Israelite brothers and sisters, right, are being seen and actually heard in classes that are pleasing to the Lord. That more and more classes on showing how to sew fringes, right? How to fast properly, things of that nature. That more and more congregations are increased and brought on this planet in the name of the Lord, right? These are the things that I ask for, that he increase the wisdom, knowledge, and discernment of our nation to come out of sin, to come away from sin, and that we can keep moving forward, man. Come on, right? And that we still have ways to reach one another. And you know how we do that? We have the wicked owner of YouTube just passed. You get some hand claps in the chat for that, please? Can we get some hand claps? Some all praises in the chat that the so-called owner of the actual establishment has basically caught the automatic death sentence. All praises to the Most High. Because guess what? He had no power in the day of death, right? He had no power in the day of death, right? That's all praises to the Most High, right? When things like that happen. Because I'm going to praise the Lord openly, right? I'm going to praise him openly, yes. Take more and more of these heathens, Lord. More and more. Let that destruction, that death angel that you have out there putting in that work, spinning the block, let it just ricochet from heathen to heathen to heathen to heathen to heathen to heathen to heathen. That's it, right? It was a Shedemite. Look at that, right? So all praises, she out of there, right? Got that Karen out of there at the end of the day. And their algorithms and their shadow bands and their AI systems, I pray that it has none effect on any of these Israelite videos that are coming out from this time forward, man. Yeah, I pray as well that they can't bury the word of the Most High. Their attempts at it will only bring their demise, right? Each and every time. You can't hide the word of the Lord, man. You can't steal from the Lord. I'm going to get an example of an automatic death sentence, right? And so I'm going to get to the climax of this lesson, right? I'm going over to the book of Acts. This is one of my favorite stories and examples. You can't play with the Lord. What you reap, you sow, right? Acts chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, but a certain man named Ananias, right? And Sapphira, his wife, sold a possession, right? Most High blessed them with something, allowed them to sell it. It says, and they kept back part of the price, his wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why has Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Ghost and to keep back part of the price of the land? Whilst it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not thy own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto God. You're not lying unto men. You're lying unto the Most High, right? It says, and Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost. Fully automatic death sentence. Right then and there. Didn't even get a chance to say Salakia, none of that. Fully automatic death sentence, right? And a great fear came upon all of them that heard these things. And the young men arose, wound him up, and carried him out and buried him, because you got to follow our customs, right? Got to bury him like that. But Esau was like, nope, let him ride out for a week. Let him be in the morgue for a week, and then we'll bury him a week later if it's possible, or we'll try to cremate him. That's not our customs, right? Verse 7, and it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. So here come the wife now. She was privy. She knew what it was. They conspired, right? And Peter answered unto her, tell me whether ye sold the land for so much. And she said, yea, for so much. Yeah, so how much you sold it for this? Yeah, I sold it for that. Then Peter said unto her, how is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out. Then she fell down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. And the young men came in and found her dead, and carrying her forth, buried her by her husband. And a great fear came upon all the church, and upon as many heard these things, right? The Most High had to make an example out of Ananias and Sapphira, right? They conspired and attempted to lie to the Most High. Automatic death sentence. Killed instantly, right? Killed instantly. There's another example as well, but I'm not going to read that account, was when Elisha was going up the mountain. And the 42 children came out and started mocking him. Go up, you bald head, go up, you bald head. Turned around and cursed him in the name of the Lord. 2 she-bears came out. All 42 died. Got to go pick up the pieces, right? We can't play with the Lord, right? We can't. Can't be over much wickedness like Elisha had to show those 42 children, or Ananias and Sapphira. It was over much wicked, right? They was foolish, right? Why should I die before thy time? Well, guess what? They died, right? Most High said it was time. That's what it was, right? Because there's no man, they didn't have the power at that point to retain their spirit. They didn't have the power in the day of their death. They didn't have that. It was a fully automatic death sentence. These are things you have to understand. The owner of this establishment, right, that we utilize 4K visual teaching and edifying tools on, is no longer. All praises to the Most High, right? All praises, right? Because guess what? None can deliver out of the Most High's hand. Nobody could deliver them, right? Out of their hand. He said that he wounds, he heals, he kills, he makes alive. If we're not understanding that, we're playing, right? We're playing. The Lord knoweth all them that sin against him. Therefore, he delivered them into death and destruction. We can't play. 7-fold more upon sinners. We can't play. If you're trying to play with the Lord, you're not going to win. Your shot's going to get blocked every time. You're going to throw an interception every time. You're not going to hit a home run over the gate. Near time. The Lord's waiting every time, right? Because he created these things, calamities, famine, tribulation, strife, the sword, death, bloodshed for the wicked. He created these things for that, right? He's going to send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, right? Pestilence, and waste the houses with destruction and death. Because guess what? If you don't want to listen, guess what? He has a way to fix that for you. He has a permanent way to fix that, right? That's why you don't want to give your mind over to the heaviness and afflict yourself with your own counsel. Lean out on your own understanding, man. You don't want to do that, right? Because God didn't make death, right? Neither does he have pleasure in destruction of the living. So you think he wanted to do that? You that's in sin, you're enemy to your own life. Righteousness was immortal, right? You have to purge your conscience from the dead works to go back and serve the living God of the Most High, right? Don't be deceived. God will never be mocked. His word does not go out void, man. Don't worry about it when they say, wherefore is their God? Let him be known amongst the heathens in their sight by revenging the blood of thy servants. What they want, them shall get, right? And definitely do not be like those 42 children that lost their life for playing with God's anointed, or do not be like Ananias and Sapphira that try to call themselves lying to God, because you're going to get yourself a fully automatic death sentence. All right. And with that, I say shalom. Hit the battle axes. We say keep the laws for the Most High. So we always go and get us a law, a statute, or commandment. Right? All praises to the Most High, eliminating that Shedomite that was over this establishment, right? All praises to the Most High for distracting and destroying the AIs to try to throw algorithms on the Most High's word going out from the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Each and every congregation. I pray those words go out to the ears that need to be heard, right? Because guess what? When we look at these scenarios of what the scripture shows us, right? And we don't take heed and say, hey, I need to do this, I need to fix this, I need to fix that, and just keep on with the sin, you setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up for a fully automatic death sentence. And guess what? Them bullets ain't got no name sometimes, man. That judgment ain't got no name. So the Most High may say, you know what? I kill you even worse for you to have to bury your child, or you to have to bury your spouse, or you to have to bury your parents, right? So we gotta be very, 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 all praise to the Most High for this edifying opportunity that the Most High has given me to actually feed his sheep as he commanded, right? Give me a law. Give me a law. I'm going to get a most important law. I'm going to get Exodus 20:3 as one of them. I'm going to get more than one, right? The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me, right? So if you're worshiping yourself and you're a beautiful woman or a handsome man, don't put yourself in that crosshair, man. The Most High don't miss, right? If you're out here in secret sin or you're on the fence thinking that you can play both sides, cut it out, man. Come back to the Lord, because, boy, I'll tell you what, that day of visitation is going to shock and destroy the nation, man. And you want to pray that you're one of the 1/3 that's going to have that opportunity at getting into heaven, man. I'm telling you, we want to be very, very careful to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. Be wise to wisdom, and make evil simple. You should be able to look at that. That sin, I ain't dealing with that. That's simple, right? Let's see here. I'm going to get another actual law, right? That we keep. I'm going to get Exodus 22 and 20. Let's see here. 22 and 25, right? We got to talk about usury. Got to be very careful, Israel, right? The book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 25. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as a usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. If thou at all take thy neighbor's remnant to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down, right? So if you owe somebody something, right? If you borrow somebody something, the Lord is telling you, do not charge interest on that. Don't give extra stipulations for them to have something, right? You don't want to do that, because if you do that, then you're breaking the law of usury, which is a civil and moral law, right? You don't want to do that. All praises to the Most High. For those who actually have tuned in today and those who will see this class later on, all praises to the Most High for the mighty captains, officers, and soldiers that actually teach the classes. So as you know, we now have Brother Uriah, as well as Soldier Uriah and Soldier Ezra actually doing Thursday. It is what? Let me see. What if it's Esau? What if it's Esau? What? I'm sorry. Charging usury to Esau? Well, as you can see, you can't really charge usury to Esau at any, because guess what? The scriptures tell us, help not a sinner. So you're not going to be lending money to Esau, because guess what? They're a sinner. The Most High said, don't help them. So if they need to borrow something, they're a heathen nation, don't borrow them nothing. Help not a sinner. They're sinners. They don't care anything about the laws of God. Keep that money for yourself. Keep that money for yourself. You don't need to give that to them, right? That's why I said, if thou lend money to any of my people, right? That's the only people that you would want to lend money, but you want to be mindful. It says, give unto the righteous man, right? Because you may run across somebody that you know that's in sin, halfway in, halfway out, keeping these laws. Pray for them. Ask the Most High to have mercy upon them, to come out of their sin, and to then increase what they need at that point. They don't necessarily need your monetary alms. that prayer of supplication that you sent to the Lord in their name, right? With you keeping the laws, the Lord can hear that prayer and actually restore them, right? Just like he restores our people day in and day out. A lot of people gonna start calling you and your family sooner or later, y'all. That's gonna be saying, hey, that Israelite stuff, I done heard about that. Hey, can you tell me some more? How can I come, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can I come be with y'all? We're getting more and more of those questions now. People are actually wanting to establish themselves in the truth of the Most High, right? And we tell them, we give them a warning, hey, now that you're making this decision, Sirach 2 and 1, prepare yourself for temptation, all right? You want to prepare yourself. So now we got Friday evenings, or that stayed the same, with Soldier Donovan and Soldier Rajatop. They do alternate weeks, or they do class together, right? Saturday, we have the actual class with the captains, with the leadership of our congregation. They do the Shabbat class, right? And then we go out to the street and actually feed the sheep out on the street after having a Sabbath feast, right? And nothing's cooked or anything of that nature. So, yeah, it's a cold food feast. Yes, right? Salads or sandwiches, delicious drinks to hydrate ourselves before we go out there and cry aloud to the street, man. And then we got Sunday, Captain Benaniyah with the smoked out Sundays, right? He going 3-4 hours, right? And he might let you click that link. He might just let you go in there and plead your side of what you believe in versus where you feel that what we're saying is incorrect. And he gonna come straight out the Bible. He gonna go 3-4 hours, or as long as the Lord will permit him to actually go. Then we got Monday, Power Hour, Captain Jerubbaal, right? Tuesdays is gonna be Yaakov with the actual Raw True Tuesday. And then if I'm not mistaken now, Captain Yari is going to be doing Tuesday evening. So now it's going to be Therapeutic Tuesdays, if I'm not mistaken. Salaki, if I'm saying that wrong. But I believe that's the day that he's going to be doing Tuesday evenings, right? Wednesday is still going to be Warrior Wednesday with Officer Barakiah. Thursdays is going to be now Soldier Ezra and Soldier Uriah. They're going to be doing Thursdays. Not sure what they're going to name their Thursday class yet. They're going to be doing Thursday Our Praises, Most High for them brothers. Friday morning, as you know, Soldier Hood, myself, I'll be coming to you, Most High willing, with the Fervent Friday, right? Friday evening with Soldier Donovan and Soldier Razatop, it will be First Works Friday. We have a new moon coming up, right? Not sure if y'all seen that big moon last night, but that thing was huge. Started out a little red and everything. All praises to the Most High, Sister Janetta, right? All praises. The water for your kind words, sister. I appreciate, love you for that. Let each and every one of y'all have a blessed and empowering and righteous day of preparation as you prepare your homes. If you have not already done so for the Most High's mighty Sabbath, please tune in this evening to see the righteous soldiers bring out a powerful class of much needed information to actually go into one of the most important high holy day that we have, which is our weekly Sabbath, man. Again, I'm Soldier E. Hood, Benaniyah Sharala. I'm just a humble servant of the Lord. I am nothing without his word, his law, statutes, and commandments, his edifying grace that he gives me to actually wake up and do what I do every day. Without him, none of us anything. Please remember that. This has been another Fervent Friday. I pray that the Most High keeps us safe throughout the week and we're able to enjoy these classes. And with that, I would say Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Hallelujah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Hallelujah Yahweh Shah, Kwam Yasharala, Barakatah Yasharala. And with that, Shalom.